Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Wyatt. I'm on a journey like you, and at the moment I'm in a human body. In 6 days I'll be leaving the United Kingdom and I'll be boarding a flight to India. It'll be my first time landing in India in this life. It'll be my 27th country in the last 2 years of full-time traveling the globe. I will land in Delhi, and then I will board a flight 1 day later from Delhi to Rishikesh. I was going to take the bus, but the difference in price wasn't actually too much. Like, it was like 10 euro for the flight, 10 euro for the bus, 7-hour bus, or 30 euro for the flight, 55-minute flight. So I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just do the flight and get there, you know. And then when we arrive in Rishikesh, I will be staying for 24 days in a YTT 200, which means Yoga Teacher Training 200 hour, 24 days. I'm very excited for this. This is something that I've wanted to do since I left home 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, 2 years and 2 months ago. It was actually the original reason why I left home. I originally left home with plans to live in Costa Rica for 9 months, and then I was going to go to India for 5 months. That was the whole original idea. I wanted to move to Costa Rica and spend some time there and then go to India, and then after that I had no plans. But then my partner at the time and we got talking, and she was really interested in traveling, and I was like, okay, let's go. I definitely went along with her. She was interested in traveling. I'm glad I did. It was definitely, yeah, I kind of followed her on that, and wow. It's totally reinvented me. 26 countries, 2 years, you know. I mean, some of you watching this, maybe many, many more than that. Some of you, not even one outside of your own. It doesn't really matter. Just in my journey, seeing so many places and cultures and meeting so many people and hearing so many stories. They're so far outside of the norm of anything I ever saw or heard or experienced in Canada. It really opened my mind to so many more possibilities. Opened my mind to the world. Opened my experience to the world. Yeah. So now we go to India. What are we doing after the yoga teacher training? I have no idea. I don't know. I finished YTT 200 on December 24th, and I have no plans. I'm sure it'll all work itself out the way it needs to. So what's the message today? The message today is just let go. 333. Just let go. Here, I'll tell you a story. When I left home, I had around me, okay, if you're watching this video, if you're like in my energy, you probably have had experiences similar to this, where you can look to the collective around you and notice that their journey is mirroring you in some way, right? Like, maybe you get a promotion and then you hear from your best friend that they got a new job that they've really wanted. And you're like, whoa, like, we're all winning together, right? It's like we all win together, we all lose together. At a certain point, you see that. Most of my life, I never really saw it that way. I was really in competition with myself and others, and I was like always trying to beat out the ones around me. And when I saw that somebody else was doing really well, it made me really sad, because I thought, oh, they're doing well and I'm not, or I'm not doing as well. What's wrong with me? And then there was this negative thought pattern that would keep me stuck and actually would poison my life. But in the journey at some point, 444, we all see that, right? You probably are aware, or maybe you're not. Maybe this is the coming of awareness to it. When you succeed, the ones around you succeed. If you see others succeeding around you in your local sort of field of consciousness in your experience. If you see others starting to succeed around you, that's a really good sign that you're about to too, or that you already have, right? So when I left home 2 years ago, I sold everything. I let go of everything. You know, people are in my DMs all the time. Come back to the drum set. I'm like, what drum set to come back to? That was sold. The studio gear that was sold or donated. The car. All these things we let go of. Let go of it all. And around me at the same time, I had some people in my life, like right at the same time, I had some people in my life who were moving. Then I had some other people in my life who were being forced to move in some not so advantageous situations, not so desirable situations. But nonetheless, the point is that at the same time I was letting go of a living situation, so many around me, parts of my collective that were being forced out of their living situation. So it was like this great like living exodus amongst me and my circle. And it all synchronized at the same time for August of 2022. August, September of 2022 was around when all these things happened, all these things took place. Some of them even into October. And I guess the reason I tell this story is just because look to the ones around you for where you're at. It's real simple to see in the others. They're mirrors of you. But also there's like twofold here, right? Like it was really difficult for me to let go of everything I owned and to move to Costa Rica, like from Canada. Like moving from a place where everyone lives in a suburb to moving to a place where people are living in corrugated steel houses was a total, absolute, mind-bending leap of faith outside of what I had known. And Costa Rica is like an easier country to move to, and then we went on to travel to others that continued to expand our energy in that way of just like, what? Like the gratitude you feel. Anyways, lost in the weeds. So yeah, just let go and choose it. You know, like you can choose to leap or you can choose to be pushed. I think that's really the point here, is you can choose to leap or you can choose to be pushed. That's like kind of what's I've been feeling the last couple of days. So just choose to leap, because I think that it's like much easier to land when you're expecting to leap than it is to land when you get pushed, unless you're a cat. You know, cats always land on their feet. So if you resonate deeply with cat energy, then you're set either way, don't worry about it. But for the rest of us animals, us upright apes, if you have a tough time landing on your feet, make sure you jump knowing where you're gonna fall, or roughly where you're gonna fall. And if you're not willing to leap, well, then you're gonna get pushed. So yeah, if that's the way you want it to go, you know. But we all know, like deep down, we always all know. Like every time something really intense happens, you can look back in hindsight and be like, whoa, that was a total like out of left field. I never could have predicted that coming. But then if you're real with yourself, you can see the signs. I just had a really intense one of these moments where something was falling apart and I didn't want to acknowledge it. And now I look back in hindsight 2020, I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was so obvious. That was clear as day. Like, how could I have missed that, you know? And you just miss it because you don't want to admit it to yourself. But these are things that don't serve us in the end. It just pulls us from the present moment. It pulls us out of our power. So just admit everything to yourself. Sit with yourself. Be in the vessel. Be in the being best you can. And like, when the unknown comes, I think it's my preference is to leap into the unknown. It's much better than getting pushed. I don't want to be pushed, you know? I'd much rather leap. Take that leap of faith. You'll be caught. You'll be caught every single time. You'll be caught. And sometimes when you get caught, like you'll be caught in the arms of angels. You'll be caught in the arms of I don't know which faith, it doesn't matter. I study them all. It doesn't matter, they're all saying the exact same thing. But you'll be caught in the arms of whatever that faith is. You know, you'll be caught in, doesn't matter, universe, God, whatever. Angels, I don't know. Deities. So many ways of looking at the same thing, you know. All right. I think that's sufficient. Hope you enjoyed. See you next video.